y'all need to learn how to be affectionate with your kids, okay? Like, y'all need to learn how to tell your kids, I love you. It is very important. Hey guys, this is Esiri and welcome back to my YouTube channel. How you doing? If you're new, hello and thank you for clicking into today's video. I hope you do subscribe, and if you're already subscribed, hello and thank you for coming back to watch another video. So guys, today, as the title suggests, we're going to be talking about Nigerian / African parents. Like, yes guys, that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about some things that I think Nigerian parents should stop doing, or African parents. I don't want to say African parents because I'm Nigerian and I can only speak for Nigerian parents, but I feel like some of these things cuts across borders to like other African countries, because it feels like all African or all Nigerian parents all go to one meeting, and in that meeting they said this is how we should raise our children, this is how we should act towards our children, and everybody signed an agreement, and it's just the same. Because as a Nigerian, I'm very sure that there's so many Nigerians out there who would watch this video that would relate to so many things, if not all the things I'm gonna mention in this video. But before we get into that, just a huge disclaimer out there to my parentals. Once in a while my parents watch my videos, and if this happens to be the one you watch once in a while, I just want you all to know that I'm not coming for you. I'm not trying to throw shade at you or anything, okay? I love you. I just want you to know that. But we're going to talk about this anyway. So subscribe if you haven't subscribed and all that good stuff. So now let's get into the video. Okay. Number one thing African parents should stop doing, one thing Nigerian parents should stop doing is stop putting pressure on your children. Please, like, I have to say, to everything that I'm going to say in this video, I know our parents love us. I know our parents want the best for us. That whatever our parents do, you know, however they brought us up, is obviously is because they love us and because they think that's the best thing for us, and that's why they're acting towards us that way, if that makes any sense. But African parents, Nigerian parents really need to stop putting pressure on their kids. Like, so much pressure. You need to pressure once you finish in secondary school, pressure to gain admission, pressure to get a job once you graduate, pressure to get married, pressure to have kids, pressure to make money. The pressure never stops. Like, seriously, like, our parents just need to like give us space to breathe sometimes. Like, they just need to know that like it's not easy out there on the streets. Like, it's not easy. Like, sometimes our parents tend to forget that these things they're putting pressure on us to do, we as the children, we want to do those things. Like, we want to get jobs, we want to get married. Obviously, if it's in the cards for you to get married, like, we want to do these things. Like, we have these things at the back of our mind. Like, we know this is something we want to do, but we want to do it at our own time. You know, we just want to do it at our own time. Like, what's the hurry? Why are you pressuring us so much? And the pressure that kids get from their parents force them to do so many things that they don't want to do, force them to go into jobs they don't want to go into, force them to go into marriage that they don't want to go into, force them to take some decisions in their life, career or personal, whatever it might be, decisions that they don't want to take, but because of the pressure, like, let me just do this thing so people get off my back, they do it. So please, parents, we know you love us and we love you too, but you need to like just allow us to breathe, please and thank you. Number two, which is kind of very similar to the first one, is parents need to stop, African and Nigerian parents need to stop comparing their children to other people's children. I'm gonna talk about personal experience with this one. Mommy, I love you, but I'm coming for you. When I was young, my mom has stopped it now, she doesn't do it anymore. But when I was young in secondary school, when it comes to like doing house chores, like cooking, cleaning, those things that you're supposed to know as a young girl, my mom tried to teach me those things. Like, she tried to make sure I learned how to do those things, but I was just really not interested in learning. Like, Like, was it just in me? I'm just lazy. Like, I'm a lazy person. I don't want to do chores. I don't want to do anything. Like, I know my mom wants me to learn. I know she wants me to cook, learn how to cook and all those things. But I was really slow at learning those things. And there's this one friend I had. I'm not going to call this friend's name. But my mom and that friend's mom were friends. And my mom would constantly compare me to this girl. Like, look at this girl. She does this in the house. She cooks. She cleans. And it's just like, it just makes me feel so like less of a person, because I want to try my best to learn these things, but I just wasn't getting it. Like, cooking, cleaning, it just wasn't my thing. And this other one girl was doing it in her household so well. Every time my mom goes there, she always comes back and she's always like, I went to this person's house today and she was sweeping, she was cleaning, she was doing it. And it just made you feel, sometimes it just made me feel so insecure. Like, I'm not much of a child. Like, I'm not as much of a child I should be, as much of a daughter that I should be to my mom. Like, comparison just brings nothing. And in my case, it's very like, I wouldn't call it very severe in the sense that it was just two house chores. I know people who their parents literally compares them to like every other person in the world. Like, look at this person is doing so much better in life, and look at you, this is you. It's not like your kid is not trying. It's just that at that point in time, they're not just getting it, and comparing them to other people, it's not helping. It really just like brings down their self-esteem as a person. You know, it just makes them feel very less of themselves. And as kids, we just want to hear encouraging words from our parents, you know. And I know from a parental like side, I'm not a parent here, but I can just imagine from our parents' point of view, it might be really exhausting, you know, trying to teach your child this one thing, or you want your child to achieve this one thing, but your child is not doing it, it's not getting it. I can imagine how exhausting it might be for a parent. But comparing your child to the next child, it's not the best way to go about it. It's actually not doing any good, because for me, what that actually did to me during that time, it really made me hate that friend so much. Like, I just really disliked her just because she was the one person my mom always compared me to every single time. It really just made me not like her. But I mean, obviously I've outgrown that now. My mom has stopped doing that now. Love you, mommy. So please stop comparing your children to other children. Which leads me to number 3. Number 3 is this one. I'm very sure there will be so many people who would agree with me on this one. Nigerian parents, African parents, stop being unapproachable to your kids. What do I mean by this? Like, try to be friends with your children. Make it possible for your children to talk to you. Make it possible for your children to open up to you. Make it possible for your children not to be scared to say some things to you, some concerns, whatever it is. Like, growing up, again, all these things I've mentioned so far, and I'm going to mention in this video, my parents have really changed with old age. They've really stopped doing all these things. But growing up, it was so hard to talk to my mom, in the sense that as a younger growing up, there were some things I wanted to talk to my mom about. For example, boys and sex. Like, it gets to a point in your life as a girl, as a boy, these topics are something you need to talk about. You need to talk about it with someone. Like, I just couldn't talk to my parents, especially my mom, both of them actually. But I feel like as kids, we tend to be much more closer to our moms, or at least in my case. I just couldn't talk to my parents about any of these things because I was scared of how my parents would react to these things. Like, Nigerian parents need to learn to be friends with their kids. Like, I feel like they need to find the nice balance to be a parent, the nice balance between being a parent and also being a friend. I know some of you that are parents might be watching this video and be looking at me like, oh, you're not a parent, so you probably don't understand. But I don't know, I just feel like there should be a really good balance, you know. Like, there should be like, okay, this is the time for me to be a parent and this is the time for me to be a friend to my kids. Make it very easy for your kids to come up and open up to you. I know about so many things that I would have loved to talk to my parents about, but I just found it difficult too, because my parents were not like approachable, like the way they raised us. And I see this in so many other like of my friends too. And this one, like, even recently there's this girl I follow on Instagram. She's currently pregnant, and she was doing like a Q&A on her Instagram, and she asked people to ask her questions. And one question she got was like, what's the one thing that you would do with your child, what is the one thing you do different with your child than your mom or your parents did with you? And the one thing she said was, I would try to be friends with my kids. And she's Nigerian, and she's not even a Nigerian that grew up in Nigeria. She's a Nigerian that grew up abroad. So it's just like, it doesn't even matter where your Nigerian parents are, whether they're in Nigeria or whether they're in the abroad, or Nigerian parents are Nigerian parents wherever wherever they are on this earth. So it's like Nigerian parents really need to learn to be friends with their kids, because it just makes the relationship even more, you know, like, let me tell you how a typical Nigerian household is. Like, the parents are here, and the kids are here, and there is no meeting in the middle ground. There's no middle ground. Like, you are here, I'm here. The parents can't come down to meet you. You cannot go up to meet them. Two of you cannot meet somewhere in the middle and try to talk. It's just whatever the parent says, that's what that's my earring. Whatever the parent says, that's, you know, it stays there, and it makes it hard for your kids to talk to you. So parents, please try your best to be approachable to your kids. You have no idea how much it's gonna really help your children, like, talk to you more, and even you as a parent understand your children even more, because I feel like that's another thing most Nigerian parents don't even know, is how to even understand your children. Number 4, which is the last and final thing I'm going to be talking about today, is stop being unaffectionate with your kids. What do I mean by this? My parents love me, and I know that. I know my parents love me, and I love my parents too, but affection is something that is very hard for a typical Nigerian parents to show to their children. What do I mean by this? I feel like my light's a little bit low. Okay, this is better. What do I mean by this? Like, in most Nigerian household, like, or again, I'm gonna use mine because mine is what I know, but I'm pretty sure so many people out there is gonna relate to this. The typical Nigerian way for a typical Nigerian parent to show you love is by providing. That is their only love. In most cases, that's the only love language, you know. I mean, obviously, they care for you, you know, they love you and all that, they want to provide. It's provision, that's what I mean. Like, they provide for you, they care for you, they make sure you go to the best. Like, I have 11 siblings, so we're 12, and my parents did their absolute best. Like, my parents provided for us. I don't think there's none of my siblings, none among the 12 of us that will can come out with their chest and say that my dad or my parents did not give them the best. I strongly 100% believe my dad gave us the best. He has 12 children, and he made sure all 12 children went to good schools. We had good education. There was never a time we were hungry. There was never a time that we lacked. Like, my dad was and still is the OG. Like, and that's one way that African parents know how to show love, and that is by provision. But the other ones they lack is the other ones, which is telling your children, I love you. You know, besides showing them that you love them by providing for them, there, you know, like they said, there are like different love languages. Besides providing, there is the words, like telling your children I love you. Like, holy, I know for sure, I have friends for sure that they've never heard I love you from their parents. Never in their lives. And I don't think I heard I love you from my parents until I was like maybe 22. And that was when I went to England to study, and one day I was talking to my mom, and at the end of the call she said I love you. I was shocked. I didn't know how to respond to my mom because I've never heard her say it. Ever. I didn't even know what to say after that. Like, how do you say I love you to someone who's never told you I love you before? And you might be like, yeah, but why didn't you tell your mom I love you? African parents, you tell them I love you and they reply you with thank you. Who says thank you to I love you? Nigerian parents. And after a while you just stop, because they don't say it back to you, and then you stop. And the first time I heard my mom say it, I was like, oh my god. But now every time I talk to my mom, when we end the call, we always end the call with I love you, you know, stuff like that. Like, those things have changed, but growing up, these are things that, you know, you would love to hear as a kid from your parents. You know, you would love to sit down and be able to play with your parents and mingle, like let your parents be affectionate with you, you know. But that being said, yeah, like I said, over time I feel like with age, like my parents have really changed. Like all the things I mentioned in this video, my parents have like stopped doing them, you know, they now do them now. And I feel like it's with old age, like the older they grew, the more, I don't know, maybe the more they understood us, the more things changed, or the more we became adults, because none of us are kids anymore. My youngest, our last born is 21, it's turning 22 in January, so none of us are literally kids anymore. So I don't know, I feel like our parents understand us more now, I don't know. But yeah guys, these are the 4 things that I think African parents should stop doing. I know that there is so much more, so if you're a Nigerian and you're watching this video right now and there's some things I talked about, or there's some things I didn't mention that you think African or Nigerian parents in general should stop doing, let's continue the discussion in the comments below. Let me know. And I honestly think that this, like I said earlier in the video, this definitely cuts across borders. It's definitely not just Nigerian parents. If you're from like any other African country and you can relate to the things I said in this video, let's also continue the discussion in the comments. Parents, once more, if you're watching this video, please, I'm not coming for you, I love you, but you know anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give a thumbs up, subscribe, like, share this video with your friends, with your family, and all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye.